Hey everybody, it is time for the weekly Rahdo recap, and as always, I'm going to be letting you know what went on my channel for, was it the first week of August, Gen Con week, although for me it was definitely a Gen Can't week, but it doesn't mean I didn't put up a lot of fun videos for you to watch, and I'm going to be letting you know all about them in case you missed any. But not only new videos on my channel will I be talking about today, but on some other folks' channels too, because there were a lot of great board game videos that weren't about Gen Con that you might have missed. You might even hear about some new channels you've never heard of, and so I can't wait to share that with you. And then finally, at the end, I'm going to give you a countdown of my 6 favorite new games that I discovered in my normal weekly board game research. Man, number 1 has quickly shot up to one of my must-haves of the year. So that's what we're going to do, and let's get to it, starting with a brief rundown of the week. Well, for starters, if you are a supporter of the show here on YouTube or at Patreon, thank you very much for helping keeping Rahdo running. And you got a couple new videos from me. The monthly Gen Jog, where my wife Jen and I sat down, talked about 18 games that we played over the month of July. Jen ranked them all on a 1 to 5 star scale. She gave one of her rare 5 stars. I think it's only the 5th 5 star she's done this year, and she's played almost 100 games so far. So one of the best is on display, and as always, she surprised me with some of her takes. I thought I knew my wife and what she likes, but it's always a great time to do the Gen Jog. And also, we put up a new Rahdo release, which is available for every backer of the show, even at the $1 level. You can check out us playing Kingdom Builders Nomads, which was a lot of fun. Oh man, Kingdom Builders just continues to be one of the all-time greats, totally deserving of that Spiel des Jahres win, and the Nomads expansion turns out to be fantastic too. So, in addition to those, if you are a supporter at any level, you can get some early advanced sneak peeks of Chance for the Old One, a deck-building gorgeous game all about worshiping Cthulhu monsters, and this right here on the board, Mistwind. Oh my gosh, folks, a worker placement slash pick up and delivery game where we really enjoyed the pick up and deliver. A very rare thing. And also Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, a moody, atmospheric, creepy vampire adventure game. And then my next Rahdo Q&A, where the questioners really put me through my paces, having to come up with my favorite designers of all time. So you can watch all of that right now if you're a supporter of the show. But now, what does everybody get to watch? Well, for starters, I put up my monthly Rahdo Roundup, where I talked about all the same games Jen did. I think I talked about one more than what she talked about, and I did them in countdown format and had a really, really great time. A lot of really good stuff. Because I knew Gen Con was coming, I was trying to get as many Gen Con exclusive or early launch, whatever you want to call them, games mentioned in this roundup, and I went into a lot of depth about a lot of them. You will hear about 22 games in just over an hour with the latest roundup. What else? Okay. Oh, and speaking of Gen Con launch games, Forbidden Jungle, the latest from Matt Leacock, the 4th game in the Forbidden series. And I'm telling you right now, folks, I think for a lot of people, this is going to be considered the best of all of them. And I believe I have an exclusive nobody else has gotten a run through. I was lucky to get an early advance copy, and I'll show you in the run through why Jen and I fell so hard in love with this. Okay, what else did I do? Oh yeah, my last Q&A, one of the most popular ones yet, I think in part because a big topic of discussion was changes to the channel. How has my channel evolved over time, and what changes are happening now? And to talk about that, I actually talked quite a bit about the finances behind Rahdo Runs Through as well, and it seemed to provoke quite a bit of conversation, so you can enjoy that right now. Remember, links for all of this stuff is down in the show notes, or at the end of this video, there'll be a playlist that will give you everything I'm talking about today. Okay, and let's see, what else? Grant was back doing another Greatest Games, where he totally cheated. Normally he does his top 5 of the month, but this time somehow he ended up talking about 13 games in an incredibly fast time, in 21 minutes. I don't know how he does it so quick, but it was one of his best ones to date, quite frankly. Maybe the greatest Grant's games I've seen so far, and I think that reflects because a lot of people seem to enjoy it. What else? Oh, I did a preview for Static Blood Moon, a new game that is crowdfunding right now. A very abstract dice drafting game, but with a really cool Tim Burton-esque aesthetic that I liked quite a bit. And with a real variety of complexity. You can play a really simple family-friendly version of this, or also you can play it as one of the crunchiest, heaviest dice drafting games I have ever played. So that's Static Blood Moon. You might want to check that out. And I haven't done one of these for a while. A little Rahdo rapid review of Jump Drive Terminal Velocity, an expansion that takes a game that was in my top 50 and puts it into my top 20, and I say why in rapid fire format. Okay, so that was what was on my channel this week, but let's talk about some other channels. Starting with Shelfside, who did a very, very cool video about using chess timers to play board games. And at first, I thought this was going to be kind of one of their normal gag videos. Because these guys are charismatic and funny, and they do all that stuff. But it turns out, no, they did a really deep dive into the idea of what does adding a chess timer do? What are the positives? What are the negatives? They actually reviewed the entire process, and I thought it was a really fantastic video that was very, very eye-opening. This is something that Jen and I tried many, many years ago, and it was interesting to see Ash talking about all the ups and downs, and I think you'll enjoy it. Let's see, what else was there? Okay, Kimberly did this very, very cool run-through of a series of escape room style games called Escape Welt, which is German for world, if I recall correctly. And did you see the murder mystery movie Glass Onion? Remember how at the beginning of the movie all the guests of the party were sent these really cool puzzle boxes they had to solve? This is one of those in real life. Actually, I think there are 3 different ones you can order, and they seem incredible. And so Kimberly did a great job of showing off what makes them so much fun without spoiling anything. And I gotta say, folks, even though I'm I feel like I'm kind of over escape rooms, she kind of convinced me that these seem like they are very worth checking out. And if you check out the video and, like me, you find them kind of attractive, check out the show notes for this because she has a $10 discount exclusive code you can use if you order them online. They look like they make perfect gifts, and they're really, really neat. The Escape Welt handmade wooden puzzle, great for gifts. Escape room puzzle boxes. Neat, neat stuff. Let's see. What else? Have you folks ever been to the Dragon's Tomb? He does a bunch of how to play videos, but they're unlike any other how to play video out there because he basically comes up with a completely new set of rules that are at once kind of farcical and ridiculous. Just kind of like, what would you do if you had no idea how to play a game, but you had to teach people how to play a game? And he just kind of makes stuff up on the fly, and yet somehow it sounds like a really cool game that he came up with. And this is his latest one for Planet Unknown, my #1 game of last year. So that was a lot of fun, as always. Okay, Tim Chewin. Call of Duty, the board game, launched on crowdfunding this week. A lot of channels covered it. I didn't. I think because Arcane Wonders thought that I would have no interest because it is a very in-your-face players attacking each other style game, which is not normally my thing. But on the other hand, I've played so much Call of Duty over the years, I was very interested in this. So I looked at a bunch of other channels' coverage because I didn't do coverage for once for myself. And I gotta say, of everybody covering it, Tim knocked it out of the park, doing a head-to-head with Bazinator, played all the way through from start to finish, and he had his trademark amazing production values. They were having a great time and were really fun to watch. And most importantly, the thing I really appreciated is that he did all these little inserts, kind of like, remember Will Wheaton's Tabletop where they'd stop the action and explain what they're thinking? He did that here, and it was a lot of fun to watch. The best Call of Duty coverage there is. And then finally, Jay. I have not seen Jay from Cardboard East for a while. I think maybe gone silent, but he put up 2 great new videos. His continuation of the top 100 greatest games from Japan, but his Cardboard East remit is to bring you folks who might not otherwise hear of these things, videos about the greatest games from Asia you can find, from Taiwan and Korea and Japan and all over the place. And this one, Four Clans Conflict, which is a 2-player trick-taking game. This has got to be, which is crossed with area control. This might be one of the coolest 2-player trick-taking games, which seem to be kind of really exploding in popularity right now. Here's the deal. Every board game publisher should watch Jay's channel, because all he does is bring to light new games that are only available in Asia. Although he has done videos about how you can get these games yourself if they strike your fancy. And I gotta say, this game looked really, really good. So, folks, that was just a few games from other channels that I thought were the bee's knees. But now, as promised, let me give you my countdown of the coolest new games I have heard about. And oh man, I've already gone over 10 minutes, so let's just try to rapid fire our way through this. Right, so where is my button? There we go. Boom. Number 6, Mindspace. This is actually a remake of an older roll and write game, and there's no pictures of the new one, Mindspace, but I think there were some pictures of the older games. Let me just go ahead and show it. It is a roll and write, all about trying to find harmony within your mind, doing roll and write style polyominoes. The different sections represent the different section of your brain and different emotional states that you're trying to balance, and I love everything about this. I love roll and writes. I love games that evaluate our psychological inner space. So I'm excited for this one. Let's see. Then there is Spellbloom, and I had a hard time getting a sense of what was in this game, other than the fact that the thing that really caught my attention was from the designer Alexandros Kappadakis. Alexandros, who you might not have heard of, but a few years ago, many years ago now, he was a designer on Motion Pictures. What was it called? Motion Pictures, Movies Out of Cardboard. And this game was fan-frickin-tastic. It really slipped under the radar. I think very few people ever saw it. And so I'm glad to see Alexandros back doing, what is this? Dice Wrong. Oh yeah, there's one other thing about it. It had this line, you roll dice that are used as both the price of the resources you're getting and the resources themselves. I don't know what that means, but again, based on his previous designs, I am definitely interested in Spellbloom. Then there was Dorfromantik Das Duel. Dorfromantik, I totally get why it won the Spiel des Jahres. I think it was a very, very worthy winner. And now, this is available. Interestingly, this can work as an expansion for Dorfromantik, the cooperative game. The new stuff that's in here you can put into your old one, but it also works as a standalone 2-player head-to-head competitive game. And so I'm really interested in seeing how that works. Oh, but folks, let me tell you about the next one, Manifest Destiny, from Jay Cormier and Sen-Foon Lim, an amazing design duo. This game asks the question, what if Lewis and Clark, working with Sacagawea and the other indigenous people of North America, weren't just trying to find the far ends of the country, but we're actually out there hunting and killing terrifying monsters, using deduction and all kinds of stuff. There's no pictures at all other than the box cover, although, to be fair, the box cover looks really, really great. I am excited for this because I'm really intrigued by the concept, and I think Jay and Sen are an amazing design team. Their last collaboration really blew up. It was a mind management. Everybody loved that. I thought it was maybe the greatest hidden movement game of all time, so I'm very excited about their next thing, Manifest Destiny, the game of cryptic exploration. But I'm even more excited about Discordia Magna. Discordia is a phenomenal game. I think it just missed my top 10 for the year it came out. It is a, a dice drafting game. Not really much pictures of the new stuff. You can check out my run-through of the original Dice Drafter, where it's a game, as much as anything else, about trying to make the lives of your followers better by finding employment for everybody. Really, really sharp, unique game, and I'm very excited it's getting an expansion. But my number one most anticipated, folks, has to be Stupor Mundi from Quint Games and designer Nestor Mangone. Nestor almost always works with other designers. I don't know if I've ever seen him doing a published design on his own, so I'm excited for that reason, so I can really see what what he is all about. But more importantly, there's no pictures of it right now, but this game is playable in alpha form right now on Boardgame Arena. And because of that, there was a rule book available for it. So I just spent the last 15 minutes looking at the rule book of this really, it looks like a very in-depth deck builder with so many cool ideas going on, including the idea that when you do certain actions, that makes the king of the land put out edicts that fundamentally change the rules of the game as you go in predictable ways that you have to take advantage of. This looks fan-frickin-tastic, and I'm very excited for Stupor Mundi, which I'm sure will be at Essen Spiel. And that is it, folks. Sound good? Hopefully you enjoyed it. There was a lot. And now, like I said, there is a playlist right there of everything I just talked about. Also, there's a subscribe button in case you want to see anything coming up in the next few days, including, oh my gosh, folks, wait until you see this run through for Mistwind. I was freaking blown away by it. Blown away, I tell you. Blown away.